It was supposed to be the happiest day of their lives, a day of love, joy, and promises for the future. But what unfolded at this seemingly perfect wedding would leave the entire community in shock and disbelief. Today, we'll dive into the true story of a wedding turned into a tragedy of epic proportions, one that left a young man dead and a family broken beyond repair. Jason Porter and Amelia Martin. From the outside, they seemed like the perfect couple, bound by a love story that spanned years. High school sweethearts. Jason was the kind of guy everyone admired, kind, dedicated, willing to do anything for the people he loved. Amelia, the beautiful and radiant bride, appeared to be the ideal match for him. But beneath this polished exterior was a secret so dark, so treacherous, that it would unravel everything they had built together. But a few weeks before the wedding, Jason discovered something that would change everything. He found messages on Amelia's phone, messages that revealed she had been having an affair with one of his closest friends. It wasn't just a fleeting fling. It had been going on for nearly a year. Jason was devastated. His trust, his love, shattered. For most people, this would be the end, a breakup, a heartbreak. But Jason didn't end things. He decided to go through with the wedding, knowing full well what Amelia had done. He had something else in mind, a plan that no one could have predicted. As Jason stood at the altar waiting for Amelia, he wasn't thinking about their future together. He was thinking about revenge, about how he could hurt her as deeply as she had hurt him. He had decided to make this day, their wedding day, a spectacle of betrayal and pain. Jason was about to deliver the ultimate blow, and he would do it in front of everyone who mattered to her. In the middle of the ceremony, just before they exchanged vows, Jason stopped. The room fell silent. He reached into his suit pocket and pulled out a stack of papers, the printed messages between Amelia and her lover. "I know everything," Jason said, his voice breaking with a mix of rage and grief. "I know you've been sleeping with my best friend for months. Did you think I wouldn't find out?" The betrayal was now public, exposed for everyone to see. Amelia's dream day was destroyed, but Jason wasn't finished. He turned to the congregation, his voice shaking, and declared the wedding was over. In that moment, Amelia's world crumbled before her eyes. But Amelia wasn't ready to give up. She chased after Jason, desperate to explain, to make him understand. She found him in the parking lot, pacing, his emotions teetering on the edge. What happened next was a tragedy no one could have foreseen. As the argument escalated, Jason reached into his jacket, pulling out a gun he had brought with him. Witnesses said there was a struggle, a desperate, violent struggle. And then, a gunshot. Jason Porter was dead. A single gunshot wound to the chest had ended his life. The wedding day that was supposed to mark the beginning of a new chapter for him and Amelia had instead marked its tragic end. The community was in shock. How had a day of celebration turned into such a devastating tragedy? As police began their investigation, the truth of what happened that day came into sharp, horrifying focus. Detective: "It's a complicated case. Emotions were running high. There was a struggle over the weapon, and it discharged. We may never know for sure whether Jason intended to use it on himself, on Amelia, or if it was truly an accident." Amelia's life, once filled with promise and love, had now spiraled into a nightmare she couldn't escape. Jason was gone, and no amount of apologies or tears could bring him back. In the end, there were no winners, only heartache. This story is a stark reminder of how quickly love can turn into hate, how trust can be shattered, and how, in moments of desperation, tragedy can unfold in the blink of an eye. Jason Porter, a man who once dreamed of a life with the woman he loved, was gone. Amelia Martin, the woman who betrayed him, would live with the burden of his death for the rest of her life.